Hi guys, it's Melissa from the Orchid Pergola, and today, as requested, we have a little tutorial, not on any of these, but on what you do when you want to get your phalaenopsis that was gifted to you that looks probably like this and attach it to your tree. All right, so there's many ways to do this. There's many different ways that you can actually attach the orchids. For me, I have grown to love zip ties. Zip ties, the plain kind that you can get pretty much anywhere. Zip ties provide the stability that an orchid needs to attach to the tree and not be wibbly wobbly. You don't want that. So an orchid that is attached but has movement, the roots cannot attach, and it's not going to be successful. So you get an orchid and it looks like this, right? Then after a little while, let me pan this up a little bit. Then after a little while, the flowers start to fall, and a lot of people freak out and think, oh my gosh, my orchid is dying, my orchid is dying. Well, guess what? The orchid is not dying. These flowers are not meant to last forever. So you basically have to keep in mind it has a flowering season and it has a growth season. So usually you're going to get these to be flowering in the winter, okay, and then you have a lot of growth in the summer. So let's let this one continue its flowering and transition over to this one. So this one I had in my classroom, and I'm going to do this quickly and carefully. You don't need many supplies. Okay, like I said, you might need a couple of zip ties. You need some gardening shears. So I suggest that if you're going to be using this or any same shears for multiple plants, you need to clean it. Now, sometimes cleaning it with alcohol is one way, or you can torch it. Now, for the purposes of, I don't know who's watching my video, like for example, children, I'm not going to take out my little creme brulee torch that you can use to heat up your blades to make sure that you don't have any pathogens that you're going to transfer from one orchid to the next. So usually you have a sleeve. Let me see if I have an example, because this one didn't come with it, which is odd. But you have a very squishy, clear plastic inner pot. And then you see it has a decorative pot. Now, just a little tip for a lot of people who may be new. If you're new, please remember the ice cube method, I wouldn't recommend at all. I don't think many growers recommend the ice cube method. They're just in nature not watered through with ice cubes or freezing cold water. Room temperature, tepid water, I would say, in my opinion, is best. What I would do in my classroom to watch, because this was in my class, I would put water in here and I would just let her soak for a little while. You don't need that much time. Take her out. Make sure that everything comes out of here. Everything comes out. There's no water lingering. You don't want wet feet. That's what they call it, wet feet, when you have water sitting at the bottom. There's no drainage under here. So if you had a pot like this, that's a different story. Okay, there's drainage, water will come out. But when you get it from the store, you're going to get this, and you're going to get a sleeve of a pot. Okay, so first step, take it out, get rid of that. You're not going to need that. And then you're going to start looking at the roots, and you're going to start picking off this sphagnum moss. This is sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss can be great in Miami, where it's really humid. It's really hard for me to use successfully with the amount of orchids that I have. So here's the thing. I like to refresh the moss. I like to check out the roots. So this is what I'll do. And no, I don't use gloves. A lot of people do. I don't. If I find something gross, then I'll just say ew and keep on going. So this is what you'll see. You'll see the outer roots that look very green and healthy. Don't be alarmed when you start peeling out the layers and you get to some roots that are not as green. You see some that are yellow or even white. Well, they're not receiving any sunlight at all. So it is normal for them to be that color. A question I get often is, how do you know if the roots are good or bad? Well, you know by the consistency. Oh, good. I have a perfect example. So once you have removed everything, okay, everything, take your time. Guys, this is very satisfying. Don't go quickly. Make this a moment where you're like relaxing, taking out all the moss. I love doing this. A lot of people hate repotting. That's not me. I'm into my, what is this, third year of growing, and I really still like this. I take orchids from whoever. Oh my goodness, stop. Sorry, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Um, from whoever's at my work that doesn't know what to do with them, and I will repot them for them because I find it really soothing and relaxing. So I'm really happy. Thank you, Orchid, that you're giving me examples so that I can talk about this. All right, so the first one that's pretty obvious would be this one. This one is hanging by a string. Down here at the bottom, it looks, hey, that looks okay. But up here, there's no velamen. Velamen is the covering, okay? There's no velamen, so that's the first one that I would snip as closely as I can, okay? Take that off. This next one has velamen, but it's dark. It's mushy, it's broken. That's another one. You don't want anything that could have bacteria, break down, cause any kind of harm, okay? Then let's see, I find this one that's kind of broken in half, but the rest of it is good. So right where it's going bad, I'm gonna get rid of that. And then there's another one. All right, I still have a pretty good root ball. So we call it a root ball, okay? And this could very well go nice into a pot like this, sit on your windowsill. But for me, I have so many orchids right now to care for that when I get a phalaenopsis as a gift, it's gonna go out of my trees where it actually likes to be. So the next step is I'm gonna get rid of this old media. Okay, it's sour, it's old, it probably smells of mildew and mold and all that. So you want to get rid of the old and have something fresh. So I have a bag of moss that I have wet already, good to go. And all I'm going to do is when I put her on the tree, I'm just going to add a ball of moss because I'm not going to be able to get out there every single day to water her. I may go out there twice a week, and this is going to maintain moisture on the days that I can't water. Obviously, if it rains, it'll be fine. So let me grab the next thing that I'm going to use. Okay, guys, so for me, this works so well. I buy it in sheets, but I also have purchased, they had on sale at a store for $2.99, the really big cocoa liners for big baskets. They had them on sale for like $2.99, really, really big ones. And I said, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So all I'm going to do is create like a little nest, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of spag moss. Don't go crazy here. You don't need to go crazy. Your orchid is basically going to go like this, okay? The roots are going to be flush against the tree, and this is what you're going to see on the outside. Then I'm going to take my zip ties and wrap it around. Maybe I need 2, maybe I need 3, so I'm going to take a couple and I will show you when it's done. Okay, so I have this tree on the side of my house that I put all my random phals on, and they do fairly well. This tree is a Christmas tree palm, or it's also called the rubellini, and it almost is very conducive to having orchids attached. Most of them do well. Some of them that I put on here were rescue phals. I've even put a dendrobium. So all I'm gonna do, and I tried, see, you could tell, I've tried all different kinds. I've tried with nothing and just a zip tie. I've tried with moss and a pantyhose. I've tried with a net, plastic netting, everything. But the best thing that's worked for me is this. So I'm gonna try to put her somewhere around here, and then I'll show you when I'm done. All right, guys, so she's there pretty tightly. Pretty tight. I'm going to come back and cut this off, but remember, it needs to be tight. It can't be loose. There can't be any movement. Now if you don't like the look of this, you can cut the zip ties and then just add some spag moss, Spanish moss, like this. That always looks nice. So I can just you know, steal some from here and just put it on here if I don't want it, the zip tie to show. Okay, obviously with one hand, it gets difficult, but you guys get the idea. You guys get the idea. So that's it. Make your foul trees. So that's it for my little short video. This is another thing you can do. You can mount your phals on cork. I did the same method for this one, except obviously you're probably thinking, wow, she has a really, really invisible zip tie. Well, after a while, you can take that zip tie off and just looks so natural and beautiful and grows so well, just like they would in nature. So if you have those phals hanging around your house and you have a lot of other things to do and take care of, go ahead and mount them on a tree or on a cork. Tell me what you guys think. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Short, quick, to the point, and perfect for beginners. Follow and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Make time for things you love.